In this session, we would discuss the Yojana October edition and we would focus on some of the important aspects. However, this magazine focused on the issue primarily related to rural sanitation and the Swachh Bharat mission. So, we would see how the aims and developments have been, and despite coming up with the programs which were long back, like the Central Rural Sanitation Program, which started in 1986, then there was a total sanitation campaign in 1999, Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan in 2012, we have various community driven approaches, and finally with the Swachh Bharat mission we are talking about a comprehensive approach for health, women, environment and economy. The major focuses are Jan Bhagidari, that is people's participation, cleanliness and Safai Mitra, recognizing the people who have been contributing for the work of sanitation. So under this approach we focus on a smart future. Now this smart comes with the idea S for sustainability, M for making women as center for development, A for accelerating private involvement, R for re-establishing communication, and T for training. Now the Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen had come up with various phases. Phase 1 talks about the individual household toilets being constructed. Phase 2 talks about solid and liquid waste management and open defecation free villages. Then there is an idea of Sampurna Swachh Bharat, which focuses on ODF plus model. So this focuses on solid liquid waste management, cleanliness and behavioral changes in the population, so that the open defecation free goal which has been achieved remains. Then there was a special campaign 4.0 which was released, which was considered as one of the most extensive campaigns, focusing and reducing the backlogs, modernizing the outdated practices and emphasizing proper sanitation and inclusivity. Also there have been various approaches which have been applied for schools, transportation, offices and Krishi Vigyan Kendra, where Swachh campaigns or sanitation campaigns have come up in a positive way. This campaign 4.0 and its implementation has been important. So some institutions have talked about talking and using refurbished computers under the Vidyanjali based scheme. There is an idea of 3R: reduce, reuse and recycle. So waste to wealth initiatives have also been started. Under the leadership there have been practices for vermicomposting and Parthenium free farms which could be developed. Single use plastics have been reduced and the campaign to end them have been very popular. Plastic Raksha initiative at Bangalore station is one such initiative. Then there have been various instances. For example, Aikar Seva Kendra at income tax offices have been upgraded, redesigned. You have pensioners launch which have been established at SBI and PNB to help the senior citizens. There have been various landscape changes which have been done, specifically on the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The next important thing was a detailed discussion on the phases of the Swachh Bharat Mission Grameen. So phase 1 from 2014 to 19 focuses on mainly behavioral change, education, campaign, infrastructural development, establishment of sanitation facilities and toilets. Then the phase 2 talks about open defecation free, proper management of solid and liquid waste and aiming towards a Sampurna Swachhata. So those were some of the ideas which have been achieved. Now this was the Grameen vision, which was the rural. Now there was another component which was called as the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban. Again the idea remains the same: 100% open defecation free, the idea of solid waste management, Jan Bhagidari or people's participation, construction of community toilets and a protocol which could be utilized for keeping cities cleaner and healthier. Now this mission had its own benefit. One of the major was to reduce significantly the infant death rate, also bringing and reducing the infant mortality rate, proper hygiene and health facility, reducing the number of vector-borne and waterborne diseases. Then there were numerous other initiatives which have been started. For example, the initiatives which focuses on bringing people together for cleaning. So this was called as Shramdan for Swachhata, for where nearly 3 crore participants participated on a day. Cleaning of the beach activities, water body cleaning, building rejuvenation was some of the parts of it. Then a revolution in the name of sanitation revolution, which actually focuses on the mission to eliminate completely the open defecation across the country. And from 2014 to 2024, this had been achieved with great figures. Now there have been achievements which have been released on the same, and the statistics is available for more detail. Now another important concern is the 17 sustainable goals which have been introduced by United Nations, of which goal 6 focuses on sustainable management of water and sanitation. So anything which focuses on disease related to waterborne, which could be diarrhea, or it could be in the form of cholera, typhoid, has to be checked and taken into consideration. The India's achievement has been remarkable by bringing the coverage from 39% to 100% in 2019, and then focusing on sustainability and reducing the number of diarrheal deaths in India. The safety and the dignity of women has been increased significantly. Also, environmental protection and reducing the groundwater contamination has been one of the major ideas. As we said, all this involves changing behavior and myths associated to certain practices. So changing the mindset of the people, which is highly dynamic, requires great effort and persistent cooperation from the people who are actually trying to educate the rural masses. The next is the rejuvenation of the Ganga river. Now Ma Ganga is considered as revered, and any kind of environmental degradation in and around would lead to great impact. So there was a plan which was released in 1986 under the Ganga Action Plan. Later Namami Gange project was introduced in 2014 to check any kind of sewage treatment or into the river Ganga, and then development of waterfront, the riverfront areas, and creating public awareness. There have been issues of very high biological oxygen demand in the rivers of Ganga at the regions of Allahabad, at major confluence areas, and then severe pollution because of the various activities associated to it, which could be in the form of industrial discharges, household discharges. So therefore, afforestation, infrastructural development, riverfront development, cleaning, and biodiversity enhancement are some of the major aspects associated to it. Ganga dolphin is one of the species that has to be protected, and again checking the models from the western areas, ensuring that soil erosion is curbed, government machinery implementation is proper, has to be taken into account for the fact that Ganga is one of the epicenters of spiritual and cultural integrity. And then there is Kumbh Mela, which is celebrated on river Ganga every 12 years at Haridwar and Prayag, where thousands of people, lakhs of people gather in, and this again is one of the reasons where we see higher amount of pollution in the regions nearby. So in all these regards, Ganga Action Plan, which was brought in 1986, aimed at improving the water quality. However, there was a lot of untreated sewage, industrial waste, and religious offerings which were going into the river, and there were plans to check those. There were technologies which were brought to improve the quality of the water. Domestic sewage, industrial waste must be treated before aligning with the water. Now, various activities which took place under the Namami Gange included the cleaning of the river, the sanitation, biodiversity conservation, adequate flow of the river to be maintained, and cleaning the Ganga would benefit nearly 40% of the population. That was the idea. So nearly 800 new sewage treatment plants were developed. There were sustainable sanitation practices being developed. A Ganga Knowledge Center was developed, and also development was seen along the riverfront. Inland fisheries was developed. Inland transportation was another aspect which has been popularized in the region. So this project also aimed at improving the pollution improving the Ghats and the regions nearby. Now, River Ganga, as we know, has a cultural, spiritual, and economic significance. So, active people participation is required with proper management of infrastructure, waste management, and proper financial contributions. The next is biofuel revolution in India. So, CSIR has come up with a cooking oil which would be converting the used cooking oil into biofuel, and this would be another source for cleaner energy. Similarly, we are talking about ethanol blended fuel. The targets have been 20% for 2025. So far we were targeting about 15%. We are increasing the target for blending with ethanol. Ethanol can be cropped with Jatropha along the railway tracks and could grow at a very fast rate. Fossil fuel consumption in India has remained high, contributing to nearly 70 to 75% of the total energy consumption. Coal being one of the major sources which accounts for 55% of the electricity generation. So switching from coal, natural gas to other renewable forms of energy is really important. So choosing between fossil fuel versus biofuels become a big question, and with rising economic development and research and development, we have seen that we can have lesser amount of carbon dioxide emissions by using biofuels. So biofuels is really a ray of hope, with ethanol being generated from sugarcane, corn, biodiesel being generated from vegetable oils and animal fats. These could actually harness and change the amount of imports that we are dependent on, because India is primarily a energy import country and we depend on other countries for our energy requirements to a large stake. So if the petroleum requirement can be reduced significantly, this could be a boon. So this development and the development of the CSIR IPP innovative form, where used cooking oil could be converted into biofuel, could be a next generation development. There are advanced processing technologies which are used to convert fats and oils and fatty acids into methyl esters, which could be used later on. And the national biofuel policy was released in 2018, which talked about blending the diesel. So we aim at targeting 5% biodiesel blend by 2030. Also, it has numerous economic and environmental benefits, definitely, as we know, but it has its own challenges. The growth and the cultivation of ethanol, the extraction of ethanol has to be sustainable, has to be reasonable, economically viable, and then we are at an aim towards moving towards a low carbon future. So green energy initiatives must be boosted. So what are other research initiatives that have been started? Clean Mission India is one of those. Then we have recycling of plastic, biodegradable recycling, conservation of water, low cost sanitation solutions, public health monitoring as some of the important ones. Then solar PV microgrids being established, Jal Jeevan Mission for connecting rural households with piped water supply, community based approach for the same, bringing in rural sanitation facility in the region. Then Surya Graha Yojana, which talks about Muft Bijli. The solar rooftops would be built in the rural areas and the residential households can generate their own electricity. This would be through the central government assistance and initiatives for the local bodies. Again, we are talking about renewable energy and sanitation development. So here we would be monitoring the water usage, use of brooms for cleaning, using the grey water, which are extra waters in the plant. Then the electricity demand with the solar energy could be reduced in the rural area significantly. Also through the Kusum scheme, DISCOMs would be able to get the additional energy which a rural household generates and can earn by selling that energy to the DISCOMs. Again, another important aspect is the circular economy and the solutions to those. So circular economy is construction and demolition waste, which accounts for 1/3 of the total solid waste in India. So what happens is, let's say clothes being under the circular economy, coming from developed nations, dumped into the developing nations. Chile is one of the major centers where cloths have been dumped. So this actually is where disposal, make and take actually comes into light and can bring in major systems where regeneration of the waste or utilization of the waste could be done, the life cycles could be checked, and circular economy we have covered a separate lecture in depth, so cover that lecture comprehensively. It's a really important topic, but yes, it focuses on managing the waste, consuming, reuse, repair, production, collection, and the raw materials which have been used for it are really important. Also, we are talking about recycling of the waste and the circularity. Now, what are the advantages for implementing a circular economy? It would definitely bring in economic and social benefits, because with recycling and proper disposal, the valuable things could be extracted, and there is decreased amount of waste which would be sent to the landfills. So environmental benefits would also be attained. Also, it would avoid any kind of unauthorized dumping into the landfilling sites, which would reduce the risk for flooding and impact on the economy and environment. So reducing the waste, conserving resources, and lowering the cost is one of such approaches. So there are various phases which have been part of it. For example, planning, construction, operation, dismantling, collection, and finally production of recycled products. Swachhata through self-pace or self-practice is again important, because Gandhiji believed everyone must be his own scavenger, and that was his idea to keep cleaning when others refused, right? So that was one of the experience that he drew, and his ideas brought in developments in the rural areas. Now, cleanliness, truthfulness, and learning another language were some of the important ideas that Mahatma Gandhi stressed in his lifetime. His contribution have been earmarked here. And then another important thing was checking on manual scavenging and untouchability. These were again the gifts of Mahatma Gandhi, which were given to eliminate any kind of social stigma which existed in the country. His another important developments included salt march, visits to Harijan quarters in the nearby areas, checking the sanitation in the village, where he personally took up the act of scavenging, the reconstruction of the society, making people independent for their earnings, and idea of Purna Swaraj, of complete independence, which could be later attained. So Swachh Bharat Mission is a vision in that line and aims to bring in development in the rural vicinities and households. So this was one of the major things that we have discussed under the Yojana edition. In case you have any questions or queries, feel free to connect on the number below, and yes, feel free to drop in your comments as well. Please subscribe for further updates on Yojana and Kurukshetra, which are available every month. So stay tuned. Thank you.